1991.
Previously
Terminator 2.
on the Pastorschronicles.
(1991) Spider-Man comic. (1991) Tetrastar video game. 1992 King of Monsters video game. 1992 Rugrats Season 2, Episode 14.
Yes, hair, Cynthia doll.
Of course you do. And if you're a good little girl,
A Teenage Nuclear Fusion Squad video game.
Well-
A Bronco Mr. X exploding smash-up doll. A Beverly Hills Cynthia lunchbox. A pony. And a 9/11 emergency surgical kit with working stethoscope.
1993 X-Men Season 1, Episode 12.
They want action. They want protection. They want revenge. The mutant control law is passed, calling for an army of sentinels. They march over the nation, seeking out mutants, hunting them down like animals.
Surrender, mutant.
Some fight back. But not for long. The sentinels herd the surviving mutants into detention camps. The camps are your final stop. You never leave. Never! But those who control the Sentinels don't stop with mutants. Eventually they bring their new world order to all humans.
1993 Super Mario Bros. The movie.
Look! It's Koopa's Tower!
1994 Iron Man cartoon. Season 1, Episode 5.
Unidentified warplane sighted heading for New York City.
Our detection system shows nothing. Mayday! Mayday! New York is under attack! Intercept and destroy!
A force field is shielding the warplane. It's getting through.
It is time. We will now strike at the heart of American defense and destroy the Pentagon with one swift and deadly blow.
1994 Aero Fighter 2 video game. (1994) Fantastic Four Season 1, Episode 4. 1994 Viceland magazine article. 1994 Friends intro debut. 1994 Deathstroke the Terminator comic book cover. 1995 The Tick Season 1, Episode 12.
We are under attack! Things so monstrous! Terror unleashed from the sacred cotton candy place of our dreams! If anyone is out there listening, get out of town before it gets to you! And I'm out of here!
1995 Hackers.
beat that.
1995 Philips Home Cinema commercial.
Pictures so real you won't believe your eyes. Dolby Prologic surround sound so exciting your eyes won't believe your ears. The ultimate home cinema televisions from Philips, including 100 Hertz flicker-free pictures and widescreens. Philips, let's make things.
Welcome to The Walking Dead COVID-19 Chronicle. Welcome back to another episode of the Pastor's Chronicles. Before we get started, I would like to invite you to click the link below and join me on Facebook, the Pastor's Chronicles. Also, I would like for you to follow me on Instagram, where you have a lot of updates there. And also join me on my platform, the Pastor's Chronicles. And you can subscribe to that too. And also I want you to subscribe to this YouTube channel. Click the bell so you can get updates and whatnot, so you won't. And I'm dropping right now Tuesdays and Thursdays, and so people, please come back. And I usually drop around 5:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Come through and check me out, because people are not getting notifications. Upon that note, let's get started with the next part of this Chronicles. And we're going to start this Chronicle off like this. We're going to continue in predictive programming, people, because it's very important to understand what it is. People, just to sum up, and I do want to get to a little details about this, but to sum it up, people, to understand the method behind it is this. The Bible predicted that this was going to happen. When Jesus said that you will hear rumors of wars, you will see pestilence, famines, all kind of cataclysmic things. Jesus said that this was going to happen. And he also prophesied to John in Revelation chapter 18 that there was going to be a power, and he classified this power as a harlot. There's going to be a power that will be responsible for all the abominations that are done on the earth. So therefore, the Bible said all the abominations, not some, but all. The Lord prepared us for this, but see what's happened. The world has rejected the Lord, and now the world is going after New Age movement, Buddha, Hindu, all kind of things that cannot save nor deliver. And this is where we at, people, because we have allowed the devil to infiltrate the minds of the masses, and now we're looking for a savior, and we're looking towards the politicians, those that are puppets to the elite, those that are puppets or heirs or joint to the dragon priesthood or the brotherhood. We're looking to the enemy that's actually doing this to us. See, the things of these films, people, remember, films are open. It is a universal, open, satanic Bible for the hordes and universal sellouts that denounce God, denounce Jesus as their Savior, and now hail Lucifer as their God. This is preparing the people or telling them to go forward. But people, the masses, the Bible says that the governments of the world will be in the bed with the harlot and will be doing her dirty work. So the Lord said in his words, curses he that trusts in princes. These princes are the leaders of the world. These will be the ones that God will destroy because they have power to destroy the world, people. Please take this time to subscribe, hit the bell to turn on your notifications. You may need to come back sometime Tuesdays and Thursdays around 5:45 Eastern Standard Time because YouTube believes in shadow blocking, which means everyone will not get notifications because what they're trying to do is destroy all channels like this that exposes what the enemies are doing. So the things of these films and these predictive things, these predictive, like how in the world could the screenwriter know that this could happen? Well, because if we take a closer look at the whether the films are a form of social engineering, it is not unreasonable to conclude that this was the intention of the global elites. As it turns out, one of the most effective ways to prepare for the future is to prepare for it. We've gotten so far away from God, we settle for iniquities in this country that which we demand, iniquities. And these iniquities were created by Hollywood, people. These iniquities are created, these iniquities that we do love in the flesh as a people on this earth are created for distractions, for depopulation, and for control factors, and to reject and totally war against the government of God. You see, the Bible lets us know that when men slept, the enemy sowed his tares around this globe. And this has infected every one of us to some degree, people. And what is the results? The tares are raised up with the wheat. And if you try to root them up, guess what will happen? You root up yourself. The Satan Dragon Brotherhood control almost everything. And they use their hellish powers to prepare the masses as cattle for a paradigm shift in this world and in every culture. People, this is called predictive programming. And its one aspect includes a wide range of technology and artificial intelligence and machine learning. An easy example is to say a certain company could predict that gold stock is going to rise. They could predict it. Programming, predictive programming, they could predict. And what is the programming? They start showing more ads on TV of their brand, and you are conditioned to buy by the ads they show. But the main aspect of predicting programming, people, it is a mental conditioning or mental programming. And it has been achieved again through movies, which is their universal satanic Bible. It's been mental programming. It's been used through TV shows, cartoons, as we said before, comic books, video games, wherever you find yourself.
Welcome to the short gameplay demonstration trailer for The Day Before, an upcoming open-world multiplayer survival game. The Day Before features a huge, stunningly detailed post-apocalyptic world destroyed by a terrible virus.
I'm running out of fuel. Great, man. Awesome. We'll look around here, I guess.
Shall we split up?
Yep.
I'll find out what's in the skyscraper.
Okay, and I'll look around here. Let's see what we have here. Alright. I have found a great cowboy hat. Tell her everything's alright. And there aren't any more guns in the valley.
Easy, cowboy.
Listen up. This is Woodbury Survivor Colony speaking. If you can hear this message, it means that we have opened our doors for new survivors. We can give you food and shelter and ensure your safety. Here are the coordinates.
Did you hear that?
Yep, I got a message too.
Great. Maybe I can sell my junk there and get myself a better rifle.
Let's find some fuel and go.
In the Survivor Colony, you can sell and buy any items, as well as cooperate with other players.
Christmas, my true love gave to me 3 French hens, 2 turtle doves, and a partridge.
In The Day Before, you can enter abandoned buildings and take whatever you want. The main thing is to be careful, because not all players are friendly.
Let's pick up some supplies and get out of here. Let's check it out.
Oh shit. Got company. Could use some help now.
The things are about to get heated.
Over here! You bastard! Oh shit!
Dude, there's too many of them. I gotta go upstairs.
Okay, I'm running toward you.
The snowstorm is starting right now, and the temperature is falling fast. Remember that when you shoot and make unnecessary noise, it can attract unwanted guests even more terrifying than other players. The world of The Day Before is teeming with hungry hordes of bloodthirsty infected, ready to tear you to pieces.
Phew, that was close. You should have seen this shit.
It seems he dodged a bullet. Now he's crafting a bandage so he doesn't die from bleeding.
Hey, are you upstairs already? Shit. Psst, where are you? What
The Day Before, coming soon.
Mentally, you are being programmed to prepare for a paradigm shift. If you remember the I, Robot movie, it showed a automatic world where gadgets know the story to make life easier. But the same gadgets could be also seen as a means to keep us up to date. Movies like Ex Machina shows us the future of AI. We understand that the same people who control Hollywood also control the news, media. And so the goal is twofold. This information is then used by the government for mental conditioning of the general public to make them accustomed to the future planned events. The programming thing in predictive programming signifies mental conditioning or programming, as well as the predictive analysis, which is done by the government to know about the future events and thus influence the masses. Climate change and overpopulation are a very serious issue, people. And instead of mankind looking to God for solving this problem, they playing God. What's the result? They playing God, and in desperate measures, they create things to kill people to save what? Their lifestyle, at the same time rejecting the Creator and worshiping the enemy, Lucifer. This chronicle in chapter 12D next week will be touching on predictive programming, so there will be no excuses of why those who listen will turn to seducing spirits and doctrines of devils. Stay tuned.
$19.95 Illuminati card game.
Let's turn our attention to this comic book that came out in 1983. People, I was 6 years old when this comic book came out. I want you to look at it. The Twin Towers coming down, and what do you see? Don't you see people jumping out of the Twin Towers? Is that what happened, people? People was jumping out of the Twin Towers. Exactly how this comic book predicted it to be. People, this is not a coincidence. This was a plan. It was a hit from higher ups. 1983 book cover of a comic book. People jumping out of the Twin Towers. See, people, you can't make this up. You cannot make this up. This is real, and it happened in real time.
I took an express subway train from Times Square to Chambers Street, which is the stop just before the World Trade Center. The first thing I saw was the two World Trade Centers. Both of them had smoke and fire coming from them. I just started making my pictures. I was photographing the burning building when EMT says, "Oh my gosh, look at that." And we started seeing people coming down out of the building. I instinctively picked up my camera and started photographing them, following them as they came down, until I photographed what must become known as the falling man. It's a very quiet photograph. It's not like a lot of other violent photographs from other disasters. There's no blood, there's no guts, there's nobody getting shot. But people react to it in a way that they feel that they can relate to this photograph, that they might have been in the same situation and they might have had to make whatever choice the man in the photograph made. You have to be very aware of your surroundings when you're in a situation like this. You have to be careful that you don't become a victim. Journalists don't run away from a falling building. We don't run away from the fire. We run to it because it's our job to record history. I didn't know I had that photograph of that man in that position until I actually saw it on my computer when I got back to the office. I called one of our photo editors and I showed him the picture and I said, this is it. This has got to be the picture. This man was like an arrow bisecting the 2 World Trade Centers. I woke up the next morning and I opened up the paper and there was my photograph of Falling Man. It was a very brave thing for them to use that picture. It was the only picture that was like that of anybody falling from the building. The only picture that showed any kind of human interaction like that. A paper in Allentown, Pennsylvania used the picture and they put it on their whole back page in the newspaper, and the editor said that it was that important to photograph, and he got a lot of mail, letters to the editor saying, you shouldn't have run this is not something I want my children to see. Tom Janot, the author of the Esquire article, he's the one who came up with the name The Falling Man. That was the name of the article, and it sort of stuck. I've never regretted taking that photograph at all. It's probably one of the only photographs that actually shows someone dying that day. We have a terrorist attack on our own soil and we still don't see pictures of our people dying, and this is a photograph of someone dying.
The 2011 movie, Contagion, which every media outlet refers to as the movie that predicted COVID, also known as The Truth in Plain Sight, is the first and last time until 2019 phase social distancing was ever uttered.
Get to the part where there's good news?
Now we have to try a live attenuated virus.
Like with polio?
Exactly. The only danger with a live virus is the possibility that it will revert to wild type and kill the host.
When will we know about that?
I'll ask the monkeys.
As of right now, the mortality rate is fluctuating between 25 and 30%, depending upon underlying medical conditions, socioeconomic factors, nutrition, fresh water. With the new mutation, we are predicting an R0 of no less than 4. And without a vaccine, we can anticipate that approximately 1 in 12 people on the planet will contract the disease.
When did we run out of body bags? 2 days ago. We're trying to get more in from Canada, but they just want to wait and see.
There are stories circulating on the internet that in India and elsewhere, the drug ribavirin has been shown to be effective against this virus. Yet, Homeland Security is telling the CDC not to make any announcements until stockpiles of the drug can be secured.
Well, Dr. Gupta, there continue to be evaluations of several drugs. Ribavirin is among them. But right now, our best defense has been social distancing. No handshaking, staying home when you're sick, washing your hands frequently.
The CDC not to make any announcements until stockpiles of the drug can be secured.
Well, Dr. Gupta, there continue to be evaluations of several drugs. Ribavirin is among them. But right now, our best defense has been social distancing. No handshaking, staying home when you're sick, washing your hands frequently.
So check out these rap lyrics. Pandemic by DJ Creep or Dr. Creep, however you want to call it. But these lyrics or this content was created in 2013. The amazing thing about these lyrics is it predicted things that will happen in 2020.
They always start with a kind of storm, like a real powerful storm. And there's always this dark, thick rain, like fresh motor oil. Storm started, something happened. His face, his eyes were different.
By the time they tried to evacuate the cities, it was already too late. The infection was everywhere.
The virus is harvesting. What evening 8, 7, and 3 begin live for the lab of the first war with vaccines. Millions died in the first week of the pandemic dreams. We are the deep black death, smallpox, mutated disease. Flu shot propaganda for all population and troops. Avoid the plague. It might have slipped into the room. It's now we're born with firestorms signal our doom. The dead returns with the pissed off zombie moves. The sprinkler system equipped with AUAG, where they round up survivors in the cold facility. Watch the process of terror from the hill to the stream. I remain in the gas mask, I still filter my water clean. This isn't past tense, on the plague of Athens couldn't be eradicated like smallpox in action. Avian influenza where the jet stream is how it happens. 2020 combined with coronavirus, body stacking.
2020 combined with coronavirus, body stacking. Did you hear that? 2020 combined with coronavirus, body stacking. And people still believe that the coronavirus came from a bat soup.
The world is now at the start of the influenza pandemic.
It started as writing. It was in the street outside. It was coming through your windows.
Sequence the virus and determine its origin.
It was a virus. It was something in the blood.
A virus which has been engineered at genetic level to be helpful rather than harmful.
The city's sick like disease and it can't be cured. Few that remain, their brain stained with the bloodshed. When the smoke screens fade, that disease, you feel a burning sensation. Nothing remains. The city's sick like disease and it can't be cured. Few that remain, their brain stained with the bloodshed. When the smoke screens fade, that disease, you feel a burning sensation. You have to act fast. Grab your gas mask. Bad disaster has passed. Anarchy, cataclysm. Stand guard, please. Blast your big guns. Havoc's begun. Viral outbreak. Tragic things done. Crowds renounce faith. Our church's horror witness. Broke the hopes of optimistic. Scope is post-apocalyptic. Known as harsh and vicious. Gross and darker. Throwing darts blow apart the wicked. Fools know I'm sadistic. Cold, my aura is sick. Soldiers start resistance. Enemy troops in NBC suits. We shoot, then we regroup. Conquer weak with armored fleet. Bomb the streets with Dr. Creep.
The scientific criteria for an influenza pandemic have been met.
You didn't need a doctor to tell you that.
This virus is human.
Radio stopped broadcasting. There were reports of infection in Paris and New York. The army brigades were overrun.
What scientists know about this latest strain?
Decided to raise the level of influenza pandemic alert.
The city's sick like disease and it can't be cured. Few that remain, their brain stained with the bloodshed. When the smoke screens fade, that disease, you feel a burning sensation. Nothing remains. The city's sick like disease and it can't be cured. Few that remain, their brain stained with the bloodshed. When the smoke screens fade, that disease, you feel a burning sensation.
Can I look at one of these gas masks?
Sure.
What do you want to look at?
I can't believe that he said 2020 combined with coronavirus, body stacking. And this was posted in 2013. He did not predict the virus. It was scripted. He just warned us. They're not predicting people. These are not predictive messages. They are planning these things. He literally said 2020 combined with coronavirus, bodies stacking. And this was not edited. The same lyrics exist on Spotify.
I had not noticed COVID's detail, this 3D applique. I mean, it just gets better. What do you guys think of this mask? It's sick. Brandon said it. It's COVID's look. Do you mind putting your mask back on? Thank you. I had not noticed COVID's detail, this 3D applique. I mean, it just gets better. What do you guys think of this mask? It's sick. Brandon said it. It's COVID's look. Do you mind putting your mask back on? Thank you. I had not noticed COVID's detail, this 3D applique. I mean, it just gets better. What do you guys think of this mask? It's sick. Brandon said it. It's COVID's look. Do you mind putting your mask back on? Thank you. I had not noticed COVID's detail, this 3D applique. I mean, it just gets better. What do you guys think of this mask?
So a Project Runway episode in April 2019 had a contestant named COVID who made a mask to go with his runway design. Notice they asked, what do you think of the mask? It's sick. Predictive programming at its finest, people. Preparing the masses for a new normal. They put it right in our faces. This is a pandemic. Wake up. Wake up, people. Wake up.
It'll be 9/11 all over again. Will you shut up about 9/11? Kyle, why are you so afraid of the truth? Because anybody who thinks 9/11 was a conspiracy is a retard. Butters, do you think 9/11 was just a plot by some angry terrorists? Or do you think there was some kind of cover-up? Well, I heard that 9/11 was caused by President Bush. Butters, you don't really believe that, do you? Well, I mean, you never know. The government does some pretty spooky things. The government and the corporations headed by the Jews that carried out 9/11. We are told to believe that the fire from the jet fuel melted the steel framing of the towers, which led to their collapse. But did you know jet fuel doesn't burn at high enough temperature to melt steel? We were told the Pentagon was hit by a hijacked plane as well. But now look at this photo of the Pentagon. The hole is not nearly big enough. And if a plane hit it, where's the rest of the plane? Whoa.
I know it seems crazy, but 9/11 was pulled off by our own government, so they could gain support for attacking the Middle East.
Dude, why would the government attack its own buildings?
It's called the false flag policy. Make it look like the enemy has attacked you. Get all your citizens riled up and waving American flags. Then you're free to invade any country you want.
That's retarded.
We control everything. We've all worked very hard to keep our involvement in 9/11 a secret. But you just had to keep digging.
Really?
You won't get away with it. People know.
People? You mean sheeple?
No way. He was right. You did cause 9/11.
Yes. Quite simple to pull off, really. All I had to do was have explosives planted in the base of the towers. Then on 9/11, we pretended like 4 planes were being hijacked when really we just rerouted them to Pennsylvania, then flew 2 military jets in the World Trade Center filled with more explosives and shot down all the witnesses in Flight 93 with an F-15 after blowing up the Pentagon with a cruise missile. It was only the world's most intricate and flawlessly executed plan ever.
What you're gonna hear from me, you're not gonna hear from anybody else because, my opinions, well, let's just say they're not popular. 9/11? Inside job, plain and simple. All you gotta do is connect the dots, and I'm not talking about the dots everyone's already heard about. I'm not talking about Bush sitting in that school reading a book about a goat to those kids for 7.5 minutes after he was told the news. Everybody knows that. I am talking about a massive neoconservative government effort. It's been in the works for over 20 years. You ever hear of PNAC, Project for New American Century?
Perhaps.
According to them, the end goal of their effort is American global domination. Full spectrum dominance, they call it. Now, The first question that pops to my mind is, how do you pull that off in this day and age? Well, according to them, you do it in 4 steps. First, we must control the world's oil, especially the oil in Central Asia and the Middle East. Now, I don't have to remind you that Bush Cheney, they came to power with plans already made to attack Afghanistan and Iraq. Number 2, we have to make huge technological advances with our armed forces that for some reason include the capability to fight wars from outer space. Number 3, surprise, surprise, huge increases in military spending to pay for the above. $130 billion a year worth. Now, never mind the sick and dying first responders, 9/11's heroes, who can't even pay their light bill, let alone their medical bills, and a lot of whom are ending up homeless because of it. I guess there's just not enough room in the budget for them. Number 4, and this is key, we changed the definition of preemptive attack so we can unilaterally bomb the shit out of, invade, and occupy countries even if they pose no credible threat or had nothing to do with 9/11. One problem. How are you going to put it into action? I mean, the American people are never going to go for no shit like that, right? You're damn straight. Now what you need is an event. An event that gets everyone's heads turned around the right way. What you need is a new Pearl Harbor. That's what they said they needed. Now, you're looking at a guy who went to 58 funerals in 26 days. I can tell you that is sure as shit what they got. Are you single?
So, I read that the former United States is so desperate for medical supplies.
I want you to give us the equipment we need.
Remember those pleas back in April?
We're still getting infected. We're still passing the virus to our patients.
Well, here we are again.
The former United States is so desperate for medical supplies that they have allegedly sent several containers filled with wheat and tobacco. A gesture, they said, of goodwill. You want to know what I think? Well, you're listening to my show, so I will assume you do. I think it's high time we let the colonies know what we really think of them. I think it's payback time for a little tea party they threw for us a few hundred years ago. I say we go down to those docks tonight and dump that crap where everything from the ulcered sphincter of our Serica belongs. Who's with me? Who's bloody with me? Did you like that? USA, ulcered sphincter of our Serica. I mean, what else can you say? Here was a country that had everything, absolutely everything. And now, 20 years later, is what? The world's biggest leper colony.
In February, the American people achieved the longest economic expansion in our history.
It wasn't the war they started. It wasn't the plague they created. It wasn't the war they started. It wasn't the plague they created. We did what we had to do. Islington, Enfield, I was there, I saw it all. Immigrants, Muslims, homosexuals, terrorists, disease-ridden degenerates. They had to go. Strength through you.
Good morning, Miss Garcia.
Good morning, sunshine. I miss you. I could kiss you right now.
Someday.
Curfew is now in effect. All unauthorized citizens must stay indoors.
Tensions rise as we enter the 213th week of lockdown.
A grim new reality emerges.
COVID-23 has mutated.
Beginning thermal scan. Thermal scan normal.
A horrifying new development
New
today.
data confirms the virus attacks the brain tissue.
Hey, whoa! I'm immune! I'm immune!
Worldwide death toll rises to over 110 million.
All infected Americans are being forced into quarantine camps.
Sarah, what's going on?
Department of Sanitation.
Sarah, talk to me.
I think my neighbor has a fever.
It'll be so much easier if you just open the door. Mrs. Grant, you have visitors.
Sarah, please. Sarah, open that door.
Sarah, do not open that door.
Please, I'm not sick. I'm not sick.
Beginning thermal scan. 3, 2, 1. Anomaly detected. Armed guards will be arriving in 4 to 6 hours. You must not attempt to leave your home, or you will be shot on sight.
This is my message to you. I know you're in there.
They're coming. I have to let you go.
No. Sarah! Sarah!
Say goodbye to me.
Sarah, I'm not letting you give up.
This is my message to
Sometimes we have to do things we don't want to survive.
I'm trying to save the one person left in my life that matters to me.
I can't help you. What you're talking about is illegal.
every little thing. Gonna be alright. And remember, stay safe, sane, and sanitized.